Good evening. You're watching the News at 6 with me, Ishan Russell. The News at 6 is all about the day's biggest developing stories, and we'll be filling in on them over the next half hour. But first, the headlines that we're tracking right now. Polling comes to a close in the fifth and final stage of the Bihar Assembly elections. Over 59% voting recorded for 57 seats. Prime Minister Narendra Modi launches 3 gold schemes, new initiatives to cut down dependence on imports, tap around 20,000 tons of idle gold in the country. Debate continues over returning awards. More writers and filmmakers return the national honours as government and their own fraternity question their decision. Security forces in UK and Europe claim a bomb could have felled the Russian airliner. Russia and Egypt dismiss the reports. And in the first test at Mohali, India take 2 South African wickets at close of play after their innings folds up for just 201 runs. The top story this evening, the curtains have finally come down on the staggered elections in Bihar a short while ago. Now, high voter turnout was over 59%, in fact, was witnessed in the fifth and final phase, with serpentine queues seen across the 14,709 polling stations. The focus will now shift to counting day, that's on Sunday.
Voting for the fifth and final phase of elections in Bihar began at 7 a.m. in the morning. The fate of 827 candidates in 57 constituencies spread over 9 districts was sealed earlier today. The districts that went to polls were Madhubani, Darbhanga, Supaul, Madhepura, Saharsa, Rajya, Kishanganj, Purnia and Katihar.
हर चीज का सुविधा होना चाहिए, बच्चे लोग को आगे भविष्य के लिए नौकरी सर्विस होना चाहिए, पढ़ लिख के सब बेरोजगार है, तो उसके लिए तो सरकार को करना जरूरी ना है।
अच्छी सरकार चाहिए जो विकास का काम करे, सड़क, बिजली, पानी ये सब व्यवस्था करे, साफ सफाई रखे।
शिक्षा का स्तर बहुत ज़्यादा गिर गया हुआ है। यहाँ कोई भी सरकारी स्कूल के टीचर जो है वो अपने बच्चे को सरकारी स्कूल में नहीं पढ़ाना चाहते हैं। कोई भी जो आपको उच्च पदाधिकारी या कोई भी वो अपना इलाज सरकारी अस्पताल में नहीं कराना चाहते हैं, तो इससे ज़्यादा स्तर क्या गिरेगी सरकार की।
Voting began at 7 a.m. in 14,709 polling stations. The polling came to an end at 3 p.m. in 2 constituencies due to security reasons and at 5 p.m. in the rest of the 55 constituencies. Let's take a look now at some of the crucial numbers of the fifth phase. A total of 57 constituencies went to polls in the fifth phase. 827 candidates were in the fray in this phase, out of which 58 were female candidates. A total of 14,709 polling stations were used. 1.55 crore people were eligible to cast their vote. The fate of several heavyweights was sealed in this phase, including Senior Minister Bijendra Prasad Yadav of the JDU from Supaul, RJD Legislature Party Leader Abdul Bari Siddiqui from Alinagar, Minister Narendra Narayan Yadav from Alamnagar and Lalu Prasad's Man Friday Bola Yadav from Bahadurpur.
पूरा बिहार जो रिपोर्ट है पूरा स्वीप कर गया 5वां फेज भी। कहीं बीजेपी का तापरा 190 सीट से कम नहीं आएगा गठबंधन को। बिहारी लोग वोटर नहीं दिया भाजपा को। भाजपा को देश में रखना एक दिन भी देश को टुकड़ा टुकड़ा करने के बराबर है।
लालू जी और नीतीश कुमार जी और कांग्रेस पार्टी बिहार से हट करके, बिहार के विकास और तरक्की से हट करके बिहार के मतदाताओं को गुमराह करने की कोशिश की। बिहार की जनता वो परिवर्तन चाह रही है।
Prominent personalities who cast their votes included BJP national spokesperson Shah Nawaz Hussain and JDU national president Sharad Yadav. Both leaders claimed their alliance will get a 2/3 majority in the elections.
इस 5वें फेज में भी हमारे पास जो खबर आ रही है, भारी तादाद में लोग वोट डाल रहे हैं, लोग परिवर्तन के लिए वोट डाल रहे हैं, लोग विकास के लिए वोट डाल रहे हैं, लोग मोदी के साथ हैं।
गाय की पूंछ पकड़ करके यहाँ भी ये चुनाव की बेतरनी पार करना चाहते थे, तो उस पर तो हम बोले नहीं, ना नहीं सोए।
In 2010, the BJP had bagged 23 out of the 57 seats where elections were held today. The JDU, which fought the elections last time in partnership with the BJP, had bagged 20 seats. The RJD of Lalu Prasad Yadav had won 8, the Congress 3, the Lok Jan Shakti Party, which is a BJP ally this time, had won 2 and 1 seat was won by an independent. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Let's go across to Purnia, where our correspondent Vishal there has been tracking these elections quite closely. And Vishal, a record turnout. Along expected lines, though, we've seen pretty high turnouts as far as the phase of polling are concerned. And now all eyes on the 8th.
Well, yes, you're right. It was expected rather that this phase will see a record number of voters, rather the maximum number of voters coming out. In fact, if you look at the numbers of the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, then these seats which have gone, which went to poll today, these seats also recorded almost the equal number of turnout in 2014 Lok Sabha elections as well, and it was highest at that time also. It is highest this time around as well. So it seems the voters have done their job. Now all of us will have to wait for 8th when the counting will begin, and by around 2 p.m. it'll be pretty much clear as to which alliance or which party or which leader from these two alliances will be ruling Bihar for the next 5 years.
All right, Vishal, I'll ask you to stay on because the Election Commission is addressing a press conference right now about the voter turnout. Let's cut across to that. Umesh Sinha, the Deputy EC, speaking there.
अच्छी व्यवस्था रही और लोगों को, मतदाताओं को किसी परेशानी का सामना नहीं करना पड़ा। मतदान की दृष्टि से भी यदि देखें तो ये ऐतिहासिक रहा, क्योंकि पूरे 65,000 से ज़्यादा पोलिंग स्टेशन के होने के बावजूद केवल 2 जगहों पे पुनर्मतदान या रीपोल की स्थिति आई है, जिसमें भी दोनों जगहों पे ह्यूमन एरर या माइनर एरर के कारण ये पुनर्मतदान हुआ। पूर्ण शांतिपूर्ण माहौल का सबसे बड़ा उदाहरण है कि महिलाओं की भागीदारी बहुत ही उत्साहजनक रही है और 6% ज़्यादा महिलाओं ने पुरुषों के मुकाबले इस मतदान में भाग लिया, जिससे ये एक नई तरह का एक उत्साहजनक वातावरण भी बना और ये भी एक प्रतीक है कि कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्डिंग मेजर्स जो हमारे पोलिंग स्टेशंस पे किए गए थे और जो अन्य प्रयास किए गए थे स्वीप के माध्यम से, जो मतदाता शिक्षा और जो उनको मोटिवेशनल जो प्रोग्राम चलाए गए थे वो बहुत ही अच्छी तरीके से, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव तरीके से चलाए गए थे। और इस बार पहली बार ऐतिहासिक यह भी था कि प्रत्येक मतदान जो केंद्र हैं उन सभी पर केंद्रीय पुलिस बल की व्यवस्था की गई थी और इसीलिए पूरे चुनाव के दौरान कोई भी अप्रिय घटना नहीं हुई। भारत निर्वाचन आयोग ने इस बात पे भी संवेदना जताई है कि इस दौरान जो पूरे इलेक्शन प्रोसेस है उसमें कई हमारे जो सिक्योरिटी पर्सनल हैं या पोलिंग पर्सनल हैं उनका निधन हुआ और उसमें संवेदना भी उनके लिए, परिवार के लिए व्यक्त की गई और तत्काल निर्देश दिया गया कि जो उनको कॉम्पेंसेशन दिया जाता है वो कॉम्पेंसेशन तत्काल दिया जाए और इसकी भी व्यवस्था बहुत ही त्वरित गति से की गई। भारत निर्वाचन आयोग ने सभी मतदाताओं को बधाई दिया है। एक बहुत ही बढ़ चढ़ की भागीदारी के लिए एक रिकॉर्ड टर्नआउट रहा है। अभी तक के जितने भी इलेक्शन हुए उसमें सबसे बेहतर प्रदर्शन टर्नआउट की दृष्टि से रहा है और विशेष रूप से महिला वोटर और जो डिफरेंटली एबल्ड वोटर्स हैं, जो सीनियर सिटीजन्स हैं, उनमें भी आप देखें तो बहुत 100 से ज़्यादा उम्र के भी वोटर्स ने भागीदारी की है। तो एक बहुत ही अच्छा संकेत है और कठिनाइयों के बावजूद भी वोटर्स ने बढ़ चढ़ के डिफरेंटली एबल्ड
And let's go back to Vishal Daya. He's standing by in Purnia. Vishal, we heard the Election Commission over there saying that the polling process went off relatively peacefully. No major untoward incidents. It's a record turnout. So now all eyes on the 8th. And if I could ask you to stick your neck out and say who's ahead, is that really valid right now, or is it too close to call?
Well, Ishan, I would say still that it's going to be too close to call, because if you look at the areas of influence which both alliances specifically had, then they had their own particular phases, and we heard their leaders as well. Although it is but natural for the political parties to claim victory after each phase of poll, but this time around, we've seen leaders from these two alliances candidly admitting after each phase whether they have done well or whether they have done very well. So if they say they have done well, it seems that the other side has done very well. And if they're saying that their side has done very well, then it's pretty much clear that, they are hoping that they will have an edge as far as this particular phase was concerned. And this was very crucial for both sides. We've seen this particular area giving, a number of positive results for the JDU-BJP combined way back in 2010. But
Right.
this time around, the equations have changed. It is, both parties are now in different camps. And the third party, which was seemingly at number 2 position in a large number of seats out here, that's RJD. So this time around, it's a combination of JDU, which won most of the seats, plus RJD, which was on second number in most of the seats, and then they have Congress as well. So there seems to be, a bit of a joining of forces on their side, but NDA, all along has not taken this entire fight lightly as well in these areas.
Right.
We've seen Prime Minister addressing a large number of rallies. We've seen their alliance partners like Ramvilas Paswan, Kushwaha trying to attract Dalit votes as well. So we'll have to just keep our eyes on wait and watch mode for another say 24 hours or somewhere around 36 hours. Picture should start becoming clear from around 10 a.m. onwards on 8th.
Absolutely, Vishal Daya will be keeping a track of those developments as they break down in Bihar. Thanks very much for that, Vishal, for now. Moving on now, in a bid to rein in the gold imports, Prime Minister Narendra Modi today launched 3 gold schemes. Now, this includes a gold monetization scheme as well. Under the new schemes, people can deposit gold with banks and earn interest. While there's no upper limit, the minimum amount of gold that can be deposited is 30 grams. Modi said that the scheme can be a great tool to empower women.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched 3 ambitious schemes to put around 20,000 tons of gold lying idle with households. The schemes are to reduce dependence on gold imports while offering interests to the depositors. Under the gold monetization scheme, people can deposit gold and earn interest of up to 2.5%. Under the sovereign gold bond scheme, investors can earn an interest rate of 2.75% per annum by buying paper bonds. The first ever Indian gold coin and bullion was also unveiled, under which coins will be available in denominations of 5 and 10 grams. A 20-gram bullion will also be available. At the launch, the Prime Minister said that women would be the biggest beneficiaries of the new schemes. He also said gold bonds will be more beneficial than physical gold.
किसी ने कोई बहुत बड़ा जलाशय बनाया हो, डैम बनाया हो, अरबों खरबों रुपए खर्च किए हो, लेकिन अगर कैनाल नेटवर्क न हो और किसानों के पास पहुंचेगा नहीं तो क्या करना उसको? ये हमारा 20,000 टन सोने की यही हाल है जी. हमें इसको राष्ट्र की शक्ति में परिवर्तित करना है.
The Prime Minister hopes that these schemes will help the country financially. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said that gold lying idle with individuals can be a personal savings, but it does not help in the development of the country.
भारत को गरीब रहने का कोई कारण नहीं है, कोई कारण नहीं. कोई लॉजिक ये नहीं समझा पा रहा है कि हमें गरीब क्यों रहना चाहिए. अगर हम थोड़ी कोशिश करें, सही दिशा में कोशिश करें, तो हम पर जो ये टैग लगा है उस टैग से मुक्ति पा सकते हैं.
दुनिया के बाकी देशों की तुलना में इस देश में सेविंग्स करना, बचत करना और ठीक समय पे सुरक्षा के लिए वो काम आना, ये उस सभ्यता और स्वभाव का एक हिस्सा है. लेकिन एक दूसरा स्वभाव भी था और वो था सोने के प्रति एक मोह. और सोने के प्रति जो मोह था वो केवल ज्वेलरी जेवर के रूप में नहीं था, लेकिन रॉ सोने को रखने के दृष्टि से भी था।
However, industry experts and bankers say a lot of people may not take up the monetization scheme due to concerns that the tax department could question the source of gold. Another concern is the likely loss of 20 to 30% of the weight of jewelry as it is melted at certified centers at the cost of the depositor. Huge gold imports pushed India's current account deficit to a record $190 billion in 2013, prompting the government to hike its duty on imports to a record 10%. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, Microsoft chief Satya Nadella is on a visit to Mumbai today, addressing the Microsoft's Future Unleashed event in Mumbai. His visit comes days after Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg's visit to India, after Modi met both entrepreneurs in the United States last month. In his speech, Nadella said that Microsoft is starting a program for startups that will create a single platform to bring together data to help solve urban problems. With over 50 startups as partners, Microsoft said this initiative will cover more than 50 smart cities in the next year. Nadella said the new project is in line with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision of smart cities.
Good morning, everyone. What's exciting to me is the kind of startups that can change the landscape of urban India. So we are starting a special program as part of the Prime Minister's Smart Cities, the Chief Minister's Smart City initiatives, to say how do we give startups that are going after all these urban issues of education, of health, logistics, energy, and give them a platform.
The 24 artists, filmmakers and writers have now joined the protest against intolerance bandwagon today. Filmmakers Kundan Shah and Saeed Mirza and writer activist Arundhati Roy are part of this group of 24 who've returned their awards. Shah said he is protesting the growing darkness in the country, while Roy calls it a fight against the prevailing ideological viciousness.
Writer-activist Arundhati Roy is the latest to return her national award. Roy says that with this, she has become part of an unparalleled political movement. In an article for an English daily, Roy says, "I'm very pleased to have found a national award that I can return because it allows me to be part of a political movement initiated by writers, filmmakers and academics in this country who have risen up against a kind of ideological viciousness and an assault on our collective IQ that will tear us apart and bury us very deep if we do not stand up to it now." The 55-year-old writer won the National Award in 1989 for the film In Which Annie Gives It Those Ones. She is also the winner of the Booker Prize for her book, The God of Small Things. Kundan Shah, the National Award-winning director of the cult classic Jaane Bhi Do Yaaron, has also returned his award. His reason for returning the award? He says a film like his 1989 classic would not have seen the light of day in today's atmosphere. Arundhati Roy, Kundan Shah and Saeed Mirza are among 24 persons who have decided to return their awards. However, the criticism for this so-called award wapsi also continues from both the political class and the film fraternity.
Intolerance is towards the mandate of the people. It's an organized, orchestrated campaign. There are thousands of people who got award. Some few people have returned it. I have no problem in their returning award. It's their choice. But at the same time, linking it to a government which is not responsible. They should have protested against Maharashtra government or Karnataka government or Uttar Pradesh government.
सब हिंदुस्तान आज इस बात पे तंग है. Everybody feels, you mean to say that India will have no Sikhs, no Hindus, no Buddhists, no Jainis, no Muslims? How do you visualize a country like this?
Do you think it's right to return awards?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
When 3.5 lakh Kashmiri Pandits were asked to leave from their homes, I made an appeal, I made a constant appeal to Kundan Shah and Saeed Mirza during that time that please react. They didn't think of returning the award that time. They remained silent after 1984 Sikh riots. They didn't return the award then. They didn't return the awards after 1993 riots.
Meanwhile, Moody's Analytics has said it stands by its report that had asked the Prime Minister to keep BJP members in check or risk losing global credibility. The clarification comes a day after the government dismissed the report as being the personal opinion of a junior analyst passed off as a commentary on India. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi is on a two-day visit to Punjab. On the first day, he met families of the two victims who died in the police firing last month while protesting against the desecration of the Holy Book. Rahul also visited the spot where the firing took place. Later, he undertook an 8-kilometer-long march along with state party leaders. He also held public meetings during which he accused the Shiromani Akali Dal government in Punjab of not handling the situation well.
सिर्फ अकाली दल को हटाने से पंजाब ठीक नहीं होगा। पंजाब को ठीक करने के लिए एग्रीकल्चर को ठीक करना पड़ेगा, शिक्षा के सिस्टम को ठीक करना पड़ेगा और ये जो सबसे बड़ी ड्रग की जो प्रॉब्लम है, इससे जबरदस्त लड़ाई लड़नी पड़ेगी। ये हम सबकी जिम्मेदारी है।
Let's now take a look at some other news and updates from around the country nationwide. At least 14 people have lost their eyesight after an alleged botched-up surgeries at a cataract checkup camp in Maharashtra. The doctor and staff who performed the surgeries have been suspended. The patients have now been shifted to Mumbai's JJ hospital, where all efforts are reportedly being made to restore their eyesight. The debris of the Pawan Hans helicopter that crashed off the coast of Mumbai on Wednesday has been found. A massive search operation is still on to locate the two missing pilots. The chopper crashed while carrying out night landing practice at a mid-sea oil rig run by ONGC. The Supreme Court has transferred Himachal Pradesh Chief Minister Veerbhadra Singh's disproportionate assets case to the Delhi High Court. The court had earlier sought responses on two petitions filed by the CBI against the State High Court for granting the Chief Minister and his wife protection from arrest. The Gujarat High Court has rejected a petition against Prime Minister Narendra Modi for alleged poll code breach during the 2014 general elections. The petition had been filed by a former AAP member, Nishant Verma. An FIR was filed against then Gujarat Chief Minister Modi for holding a public meeting when polling was underway and for violating election notification. Some international news now, and the United States and the United Kingdom intelligence reports suggest that the Russian aircraft that went down on Saturday may have been the result of a bomb on the flight. But Egypt has dismissed the report, saying it was too early to call, and the analysis of the report of the flight data recorder must be awaited.
Was the ill-fated Russian airline felled by a bomb? Security forces from the United States and Europe certainly think so. British Foreign Minister Philip Hammond says there's a strong possibility that the Islamic State's Egyptian affiliate was involved. His comments came after the government's Crisis Response Committee met late on Wednesday.
We think there is a significant possibility that there was an explosive device on the plane. If that is the case, who put it there and what the motive was will be a subject of an investigation.
Earlier, UK suspended flights indefinitely to and from the Sharm el-Sheikh resort from where the flight had departed. He assured all UK nationals will be helped to leave once extra security measures were in place. British Prime Minister David Cameron and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi are due to hold talks on Thursday, and security concerns are expected to be high on the agenda.
Our aviation security experts have been working on the ground at Sharm el-Sheikh with them. All of this has been working very well, but in the end, it is our decision. We have to make that decision. We are responsible for the safety of British nationals and British aircraft. We can't subcontract or delegate that responsibility to anybody else.
Forensic evidence, including flight recorders, is still being analysed as relatives of the crash victims seek closure. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's now get you some more international news and global buzz. A major rescue operation is underway to save dozens of people thought to be trapped under debris after a factory collapsed in Pakistan. At least 20 people died when the plastic bag factory collapsed on Wednesday. The cause of the collapse is still unknown. Tourists and travellers in Indonesia are stranded for a third day as volcanic ash has forced the closure of airports on 3 islands. Bali's Depensar airport has been shut since Tuesday after Mount Rinjani began erupting on Lombok Island. Around 700 flights have been affected. 3 days ahead of elections in Myanmar, the European Union today deployed its short-term election observers to the country. The group consists of nearly 150 observers who will stay till election day. Myanmar's ruling Union Solidarity and Development Party is expected to be trounced by Suu Kyi's National League for Democracy. Some sports now, and on a dry surface in Mohali, India came back strongly after its batting folded up for just 201 runs on day one of the first test. By stumps, South Africa were 28 for 2, trailing by 173 runs. Of the 12 wickets to fall during the day, spinners accounted for 9. Dean Elgar was the unlikely demolisher, claiming 4 wickets. South Africa lost Van Zyl and Faf du Plessis to two of India's 3 spinners. Elgar's victims included Cheteshwar Pujara, Ajinkya Rahane and Riddhiman Saha. Earlier, India failed to cash in on a good toss won by Virat Kohli on his 27th birthday. For South Africa, Elgar and Hashim Amla saw out the rest of the evening.
Defense there from Amla, 16 for 2.
So that's all from us. Goodbye.